Is it good to warm up your car?
It's all about temperature, right? And especially going into the point where we're from winter or going into winter and we're getting to really frigid times and very cold times of the year. Warming up your car is important, right? It is important, but there is a fine line and there's going to be a couple of rules behind it too. So if you got an older vehicle, and we're going to define the older vehicle as a carbureted car. If you have a carbureted vehicle, which tends to be like 86 and older, you need to warm up your vehicle. And that warm up process is going to be 5 to 10 minutes. You need to allow that choke to be able to do its job. You need to allow the fuel injector, or not the fuel injector, excuse me. You need to allow the fuel to get through the carburetor. You need to allow the jets to do its job here. On older vehicles, you got to let them warm up. Now, obviously in the state of Colorado, there is a couple laws, right? You can't technically allow your vehicle to sit in your driveway alone for 5 to 10 minutes. You are supposed to be sitting in your vehicle. Again, that's going to be few and far between. Now, when it comes to really cold weather, when we get below that freezing point, when we get below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, it is imperative that you allow your vehicle to warm up. Oil is a fluid, right? It is a liquid. It's something here where it has a freeze point here. It takes a lot to get there, but what happens as far as oil is the substance that, you pour it out is constant, but as it gets colder, it turns into more like a maple syrup and then gets slower and slower. And so to allow the engine to naturally warm up, to allow the oil to get up to operating temperature, on modern cars, 1995 and newer, I would say that the warm-up point on your vehicle, you can detect it by 2 points, right? I think a fair number is 2 to 3 minutes, and that's typically what the manufacturers recommend is 2 to 3 minutes, and then go start driving your car. Now you're not beating on it, you're not going full throttle, you take it slow until you get an operating temperature, drive it like normal, it's just, you're not racing it until you get an operating temperature, then you have best practice to go full throttle, right? Another way to be able to detect it is listening to your vehicle, but watch your RPMs. Typically on cold startups on modern cars, your RPMs is going to be anywhere from 1,000 to 1,600. When the RPMs drop to about 800 to 900, it means your vehicle is able to breathe properly here. By that point in time here, typically your coolant level and your engine oil level and temperatures are now hitting, probably 100, 120 degrees, which is just enough temperature to be able to start your car and operate properly. And so you can listen to your idle, let your idle drop once it gets into that normal level, the 800 to 900 RPMs, or when you hear it kind of do the the slow down process behind it, then you're perfectly safe to drive.